Well, hello there. How are my soul brothers and sisters doing out there? As I said before, more to come with DP. And I would like to speak on some issues that are really troubling me and are very concerning. And like I stated in the first video, our cussing. I believe it is really affecting us tremendously. I help out at a rec center, and I had a young man who's 16. He was turning 16, and his dad was giving him a birthday party, and he wanted to throw footballs at our rec center. So he rented out the rec center, which I thought was really, really cool. But as the young men, it was probably about maybe 25, 30 young men came out, and I would say about about 14 or so were black and the other half were white. And so they were having a good old time. And next thing I heard, I was like a MF this and the nigga this and just all kind of real hard profanity. And so I asked the young men on several occasions to please watch their mouths. I said, "You are in the presence of a lady." I said, "So please watch your language." I asked them once, and I guess they were so used to doing it, they proceeded to do it again. And so I asked them very kindly again to please stop. I said, I like respectful language. I want you to have a good time, but let's be respectful, And so they did it again. And so I contacted the overseer of their event, which was the dad. And I spoke to the young man's dad, and told him that I'm a woman. I would like respect, and that's very bad language, because I know when I was growing up, when we were young, if we happened to say a bad word or say something inappropriate, we would always say, "Ooh, I'm sorry," and apologize to that older individual and give them that respect. And so when I told the man that, the father, he immediately apologized on several times, and he asked the young man, he called him in a huddle and asked the young man to watch their language. And they did. After that, they slipped a few here and there, but it was not as nearly as bad as it was. And so I say that because obviously these young men, they were 16 and maybe a little younger, maybe 15. So obviously they have picked that language up from somewhere. And it has to be from us adults, either through watching a video they've heard and seen it, through TV they've heard and seen it. They've heard, us adults say it when we're angry or just in normal conversation. They hear that and they pick up on everything we do as an adult. They're like little sponges. So we have to be very careful with our language so we can groom our young people to be respectful and know how to speak clean and appropriately. Yes. And then I had another situation where it was a parent. I was at the mall, and a young lady came into the store, and she couldn't find her child, and she just started screaming all kind of profanities at the front of the door, and the child, I guess, was in the back of the store. I just kind of dropped my head, because to me that was very embarrassing to see my culture, my people out there, because the store had quite a few Caucasians in there, and to hear her language, to holler at her son and child like that, it's not good. It's not good. And then especially at that soccer game, I'm going back to that because I did want to tell you about this. It's because at that soccer game, with the Caucasians being there and most of the majority of the black boys speaking so badly, that that doesn't look good, and especially calling us nigga. We don't like the Caucasians calling us that, but here we are, as our young men, calling each other that. So we got to watch it. Calling each other dogs and MFers and all of those kind of things. Our parents gave us wonderful, beautiful names that we can kindly call ourselves. It would make it so much better and teach our young people how to call each other by the proper and correct names that our parents have given us. So, going back to the young lady that was hollering at the front of the store, to me that was embarrassing. So we as a culture, we are one. We're not going to individualize things. We need to speak and do better. And I know, and as we watch TV, and actually, let me tell you about another incident. I happen to be going into the local, I volunteer sometimes at our local um, theater here where I help with different sort of things. So they had a play here, and I'd never seen it, so I was going to work there and well volunteer there, work volunteer. Okay. And the play was so vulgar with profanity that I had to get up and leave. I had to get up and leave. I said, why would I sit and let this type of stuff meditate in my mind and in my soul? I said, because that's no good. And thank goodness it wasn't children there. These were all adults sitting there entertaining a bunch of cursing. And trust me, I'm a marketing major and I know what these things do. It what you see, what you listen to, it goes into your soul. It goes into your psyche subconsciously. You will be saying and repeating things because this is what you heard. So I politely told the lady who I normally work for, I said, I can't sit here through this. I will not sit here through this, and I will not have that permeate my soul. And we have, as people, need to start doing that. When we see vulgarity on TV, we cannot listen to all that rap. Sexy Red, I just stumbled across her. Oh my goodness, her vulgarity. And she has a lot of followers. A lot of followers, and probably a lot of our young youth listening to vulgarity. So we really have to monitor what we watch, monitor what we listen to, and monitor and correct our children. But we have to be that example. We have to, and I guarantee, because most of us African American black folks, we have our tradition is church. So most of us go to church, been to church, and then we go look and listen to all of this filth, and then we want to go and sit before the Lord. Okay, but we can't do that because the church is us. We have to represent where we're going. We have to represent that well. So if we're going to church, we need to be the church and represent the church. So we cannot subject ourselves to looking, listening, and to talking foolish. Okay, the next thing I would like to discuss is what I spoke of, and that was I mentioned about shootings. My second thing I mentioned in my last video was about shootings because shootings are out of control. Okay, I also work in the healthcare industry, and I happen to be working in the ED department, and I happen to be working with a man who was from Nigeria. And he asked me, he says, why is majority of the shooting victims and patients coming in here black males? Majority of them are black males. I just dropped my head again and I said, well, no role models. We have no role models. I said, we have got to get us acting what I know it's always been said, do as I say, not as what I do. But that's incorrect. We have to ask our children to do as we say and we have to do as we want them to do, and that's do the right thing. We can't expect them to be right, act right, and listen and follow something appropriately if we're not being appropriate. So I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I just wanted to come before you. I'm going to break down each time I come on video. I'm going to break down these different sections that I talked about and why I'm talking about them and the importance of us doing the right thing because we are only about 15% of the population. So that means we're not that big. So if we get half of our men and boys getting shot up, that doesn't leave us with much left. So we really have to, like I said in that last video, make good, wise choices. Okay, and it starts with us adults making good, wise choices, talking appropriately and rightly, so our children can follow. Okay? So until next time, I want peace and blessings and love to all of you. And people say, why are you always so concerned about others? You got issues and you got things you need to address, and I do. I've been through a lot, and I know we're broken out here. We've all been through a lot. But I said my love for people is in my heart, and I love Black people. I love all people, but I have a special care and love for Black people. And I don't want us to keep getting tricked and trapped out here with this foolishness. So I'm going to be coming back at you with some more information and some more skills that we need to do to make us better people, because our culture is rich. Okay, until next time, I dare you to practice, practice, practice clean, nice language so we can pass it on to our youth. Thank you.